Hey everyone! So, welcome back to Overwatch 2. I know it's been a while since we've been here. Um, it's a new season. This is after the new big patch has come out for Season 9. That brought about quite a few changes. And I have been playing it quite a bit recently, doing my placements to see, the new ranking system and competitive and all that. And I want to go ahead and share this because this was a game that I was a part of that it was a pretty insane comeback victory for my team that I was a part of. I was tanking in this game. Now, before we watch this, let me just go ahead and get this out of the way because I'm sure some are going to watch this and are going to probably want to share some constructive criticism or maybe non-constructive. I'm just going to go ahead and get this out of the way and acknowledge it. Yes, I had a bad game. I'm just going to go ahead and acknowledge that. I will be the first to say that I don't consider myself to be a good player of this game. I'm not someone who has some kind of ego walking around like other streamers do, boasting about how great they are at this game and all that. I have no delusions about that whatsoever. I'm not someone who thinks that I have any skill when it comes to this game. I put that in quotes. Yeah, in no way am I going to say that, hey, watch great gameplay of me like other streamers do. No, that's not the point of this. This is not for me to show how good I am, because I'm not. I'm not good at this game. There are times where I can have some decent moments and have some decent games, but does that mean I'm a good player? No. I think the highest I've ever been ranked in this game is Plat. Any of these Blizzard games have this kind of ranking system. The only time I've ever reached as high as Diamond was the one time in Heroes of the Storm, and that took a lot of time and grind and work on my part. Because I have a number of other things I'm interested in doing, especially on this channel when it comes to content. Like, you guys know, there's a number of games I haven't finished yet in terms of playthroughs because they've been on hiatus, because a number of things, whether it's stuff in real life, whether it's me focusing on certain things like World of Warcraft and other stuff like that, I just don't feel like I have the kind of time that it would take to actually invest in actually getting good at this game or trying to pursue getting high ranks, climbing ranks in certain roles and such. Have I considered the idea of coaching? Yeah, but am I interested in spending quite a bit of money to actually go ahead and do that to try and pursue this? Not really. I want to play this game for fun, and it's the game itself I like. It's just the community itself at times just drives me away from wanting to keep playing this game because of how toxic it can be and unrelenting and unforgiving it can be. I can have a bad game and just have constant insults thrown at me nonstop. It's one of the reasons why I always get so weary and cautious about tanking in this game, because, especially in comp, because I can't stand it when we lose and immediately people are saying that I'm the reason we lost. Things like tank diff, you're trash, uninstall, go back to bronze, you name it. I've had so many different things thrown my way. And this game is probably going to be no different if you watch this replay, because you're going to see me struggle a lot. It's mainly against a hero that I have had a history of very much disliking, because it's a character that has griefed me. And I say griefed as in she has been the cause of more anguish and deaths and losses than any other character in this game for me personally. When you ask somebody, who's the character they hate the most, you'll usually hear answers like Doomfist, Junkrat, other, answers like that. I'm probably the only person in the world who is going to give you the answer Diva. And people just look at me as if I have 3 heads when I say that. They are shocked when I say that, because nobody else, apparently, in the entire world has this much of an issue with Diva as I do. I can't stand her. I can't stand how strong she is, her mobility, the relentless damage she does, her ult, which got buffed this season, which blows my mind. And apparently now, because of the changes to the projectiles, she's stronger than ever. And you're probably going to see that in this game because the opposing tank in this game, the D.Va Slop, you'll see on the other side, that's just the player's profile name, really gives me a lot of frustrations in this game. You'll see me at some point constantly swapping because I get so frustrated. I'm trying to figure out what to swap to deal with what's going on. Now, it's worth noting I don't play every character in this game. When it comes to tanks, the tanks I usually like to play are Reinhardt, Winston, Sigma. I've been playing more Ramatra and Orisa lately. And I do like to play Hog, but I'm not really good at him, partly because I don't play Hog like other people do. Also, I'm still getting used to the changes he got. And whether or not I land my hook, say it depends what day it is. But, yeah, I don't play Doomfist even though I would want to, because, well, you know, watching a good Doomfist is something to behold. And there are times where it's like, man, I want to be able to play him like that, you know? The only time I ever play Hammond, I don't really call him Wrecking Ball, I call him Hammond, or Hamster, or sometimes Hamtaro, jokingly, is in Mystery Heroes if it makes me play him. But I would never play him in comp. And I don't really play Zarya. The only time you'll see me play Zarya is when I said to my team, I'm having frustrations with this D.Va. And they said, okay, why don't you just go ahead and swap to Zarya and just try to, you know, space out your bubbles and don't like over push or something, and we'll try to deal with that. The problem is then they pulled out a Bastion, and that kind of screwed over that strategy. So then we went back to Sigma. And, yeah, well, let's just say what you're going to see here is this team rolled over us, Team 2 on the right. They absolutely steamrolled us in the first round. And we somehow managed to extend this game. And then we get to push it first for the extra round. We barely get, far at all. And then the other team had a massive amount of time to try to get there to be able to win. And somehow we were able to hold them off. Like, this is like one of the most incredible defensive stands I've ever seen. That I've ever been a part of, and we won despite my bad tanking. Now, it's worth noting that if you look at the game report, which I unfortunately lost because a number of games have passed since then, I'm not recording this right after the game. I'm recording this the day after I continue to play some more games. Fortunately, I had shared the replay code with some others in Discord so they could see it, so I was able to pull the replay code from there to watch this. But this is on Shambhala Monastery, and I remember the game report said that I had the most elims in this game with 41, but again, I die a lot in this. I have a lot of struggles in this game. So if you want to say how bad I am at the game and throw insults at me in the comments or whatever, look, you're not saying something I haven't already heard or haven't told myself. I know I'm bad at this game. You don't have to tell me I suck. I know I suck at this game. But if you want to share any constructive advice or constructive feedback or constructive criticisms to try to help me get better, because I would like to get better, just have it be actual helpful advice, That's all I ask. That if you're going to, share some kind of criticism, let it be helpful for me to try and get better rather than just tell me I'm bad, Anyways. So, we started off this game on defense. Because we're playing on defense, I usually have a tendency to want to play a certain type of anchor character, anchor tank. So I went with Sigma instead of Reinhardt because of the high ground that you can get in this game. Or, I'm sorry, in this map. Now, is my thinking wrong there? Probably. The thing is, I am not that great when it comes to knowing about things, research-wise in terms of well, this character is good on this map, or this character is good with this comp. I haven't really done my research in that regard. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm using that skin, I have a lot of the skins set to random. just because they added the feature where you can have a random skin. So I tried to put the barrier up there to give my team, which as you can see, has an Ashe as well as a Widowmaker. So I was like, okay, let me put the barrier up here to give them some shielding. That went away very fast. And this is what I'm talking about. Look at the size of D.Va's projectiles. Like, this is the season where they all got buffed a lot. She's also getting pocketed by a Mercy, so she's also able to do even more damage. They also have a Soldier who's doing a lot of damage, and they have a Tracer who does have a Discord on him at the moment. Like, the two supports up there trying to keep them alive, while I'm just trying to see if I can somehow absorb and mitigate some of the damage here. I haven't learned all the hotkeys or controls when it comes to doing replays and such. That was a stupid boulder on my part. I was trying to see if I could hit D.Va with it before she got up there, but I was a little late on it. Let me turn up the game sound, so you guys can hear the replay a little better.
Pflicht ist nicht getan. Calling in the big guns. D.Va, back in action. A taste of poison.
So yeah, they finished me off there, and you can see they're just kind of steamrolling us here early on. And I knew this was an issue because I checked the profile later. Slop here has put in many, like hundreds of hours on D.Va. Plus has I think the golden guns on D.Va. So I knew this was going to be a problem. So I thought, okay, who's a character that she cannot, because I'm sorry, Defense Matrix is such a frustrating thing for me. I can't stand how strong it is. It's able to counter so many different things in this game. This thing right here, Defense Matrix, like there are certain ults that it can eat up. There are so many things it can just absolutely nullify that's so incredibly frustrating to play around and play against. So I thought, okay, what's something that she cannot deal with? Well, Winston's weapon is something that she can't really Defense Matrix against. Now, I thought about Ryan's hammer, but again, we're dealing with the high ground and such, and I thought, in case I need to get around a bit, especially against another mobile tank like D.Va, that maybe that would work. We also were kind of doing some swaps here, like we got to Iliari here. We still had a Widowmaker, but considering that they had a... Although I guess you can see here, yeah, the Widow is trying to snipe the Mercy, but because the D.Va, I thought, yeah, this is not going to work out because the D.Va is just going to dive the Widow and just make her kind of irrelevant in this game. That's how I thought of it anyway. Of course, they also had a Tracer who was diving the Widow as well. And it was kind of working, except, you know, in terms of, like, me trying to do damage. And then, of course, the D.Va already had an ult. And, of course, it takes out our two healers. Because, again, they made the self-destruct even stronger. I get taken out, of course. Like, I've had a suspicion, and this is maybe just me being a conspiracy theorist, which I'm usually not, but when it comes to things like this, especially when it comes to certain characters, I have a suspicion that Blizzard has this thing where they just absolutely love the character of D.Va so much, and they also notice how many other players out there love D.Va so much because they love to cosplay as her. They have all this D.Va merchandise. They have all these things. D.Va ups the sells. So what do? They keep D.Va relevant. They keep D.Va strong. They don't actually nerf D.Va because they don't want people who love D.Va to get upset. It's like how, for a long time, WWE kept John Cena relevant, kept John Cena stuff, and kept him in a lot of their main events and such because he kept selling merchandise. You know, money speaks, right? That's just my own little conspiracy theory. Whether or not it's actually true or not, I doubt it, but it's just a little suspicion I have because when would you ever see D.Va get nerfed? You know? Like, how often do you actually see D.Va get nerfed when it comes to characters and tanks in this game? And then she gets buffed in this patch. Because, I mean, yeah, the projectile size thing buffs her weapons and her damage. But then they also buff her ult, which is already one of the most... I'm sorry, I consider it one of the most strongest and overpowered things in the game because of just how much it just absolutely deletes characters from this game, which I guess, I know it's the point, I get it, but I'm allowed to be upset and frustrated and not like certain things, okay? Gosh. I'm so sick of trying to hide my dislike for D.Va just because so many people absolutely adore her. This character has given me more frustrations and grief in this character that, I don't share the same dislike for Doomfist like other people do because Doomfist is nowhere near in as many games I'm a part of as D.Va is. D.Va is in my games constantly. She's the one that constantly is grieving me, not Doomfist. Alright, so I take it back. It looks like the D.Va did not actually have the golden guns on her weapons. My bad. I saw the golden trim on there, so I thought those were the golden weapons. I'm wrong, my bad. But you could just see, they are just like effortlessly rolling us in this game right now. We're not able to really do anything. Like, we're just getting absolutely run over. And I will absolutely acknowledge that part of that is me and my frustrations here. Again, I was thinking, okay, she can't defense matrix my weapon, so that can help. Plus, Winston is also, I guess, considered pretty strong in this patch as well. He has extra health. He now does also extra damage. Plus, they made it where his weapon ignores armor, I believe is what I recall the patch saying, is that he doesn't have it get mitigated by their armor. So, plus he's also great for diving characters like Mercy. If I see a Mercy just pocketing people and not getting any, how do I say this? If I don't see Mercy getting challenged or, no one's actually getting on the Mercy at all, here's the thing, and I've been trying to really emphasize this to people. If you never go after the healers, especially a Mercy, they'll just stand back there and heal everybody and no one's ever going to die and we'll never win any fights. If you want to win fights, you have to prioritize the healers first. Take out the Mercy first. I'm sorry, Mercy players. I'm sorry that you're hearing me say this. I'm not trying to call you out or pick on you because I play Mercy too. I have played Mercy a lot as well. I do play Mercy myself. But the reality is, and this applies not just to Overwatch, this applies to other games, including like WoW if you're playing Arena. You know what's the first thing I learned when I started messing around with WoW PvP, especially in arenas? Focus the healer first. That is one of the absolute highest priorities that I have heard people say when they do WoW PvP in arenas, is you always focus their healer first, and then you pretty much have gotten the win at that point, because then you can just finish them off, or they'll just accept the loss. Always prioritize going after the healers first, because if you try to go after the tank or the DPS, they'll just heal them up and it'll be fine. Now, it's a little different this season, because of the debuff that damage players have, where they have the 20% heal and receive debuff that they put on people. So it definitely makes DPS characters really strong this year. And, like, for example, this Reaper, which I believe because the projectile size increase, it actually makes the shotgun spread even stronger, from what I understand. Which also makes Torbjorn's shotgun strong as well. But this is, like, always my thinking, is, like, somebody has to get on this Mercy, otherwise she'll just stand back there and heal them up, and we'll never win any fights. So that's usually my reasoning whenever I try to play a Winston, is because I'm trying to dive their backline, which is something that dive tanks are supposed to do, is try and dive the backline, take them out, while the rest of my team can either be able to try and focus on the tank while they're not getting healed, or be able to focus the other squishies. You know, like, if I'm drawing their attention because I'm attacking their Mercy and they have to turn around and focus me, they're not focused on my team. You know, am I wrong? Feel free to let me know. Like, if there are any Overwatch coaches that actually watch this, like, in case you're wondering, what rank is this? This was during my placements, and usually when I have ranked in tank role, I've usually ranked in either high gold or low plat. Like, I ended last season, I think, Platinum 5. So, if you want to consider this a high gold, low plat game, by all means, yeah. So unfortunately, I think our Iliari shot the ceiling there with her ult. And of course the D.Va had another ult ready to go. So I got taken out there by the Reaper, because since I'm playing Winston, he swapped to Reaper. Because of course. We got a Hanzo who did take out the Tracer, but of course just gets rezzed back, because if you never get on the Mercy when she tries to pull off a res, she'll get rezzed off all the time. Our Soldier tries to ult here, but of course, what does D.Va do? Defense Matrix the whole thing! So I swapped to Orisa. Like, I was like really frustrated trying to figure out, okay, what can I swap to? What do I do here to try to somehow deal with what's going on here, including this D.Va? And I was like, okay, maybe Orisa with her armor and Fortify, maybe that can help. But again, she's just getting pocketed by the Mercy, which I know I should be focusing on the Mercy, but considering D.Va is constantly in my face, I just couldn't do anything. At least I felt like I couldn't do anything. So you can see, they just easily pushed it the rest of the way. They just rolled over us in that first round with 3 minutes and 15 seconds left over. It was an absolute trouncing on our end, which I will absolutely acknowledge. Like, yeah, that's definitely, you know, a lot of that can be put on me. I was feeling extremely frustrated by this point. Because again, the D.Va was just giving me so much of a fit. I didn't know what to do, you know. Now, I know that the D.Va's not supposed to be my priority, but when she's constantly in my face and is that strong and is just like constantly giving me, you know, problems where I can't really do much, I didn't know what else to really do. So, like, I can try to get to the back line, but she's just constantly on me, and, you know. There are tank concepts in this game I'm still really trying to get better at and learn, like the idea of creating space and maintaining space. It's something I'm still trying to learn and work on, because when it comes to tanking in a PvP game like Overwatch, like, I feel like I'm able to understand the concepts of tanking much better in a PvE type of game, more so like World of Warcraft. I'm much more comfortable and have a much better understanding of how to tank in a game like World of Warcraft, because you're dealing with AI. You're dealing with raid bosses, dungeon bosses, trash. You know how threat works in that game. Threat is a thing in that game. Threat is not a thing in Overwatch. That's not really something you're dealing with, because you're not dealing with AI. You're dealing with other players, other human beings. So trying to tank against people is an entirely different thing, which I've had a big struggle trying to like really learn and grasp here. So my thinking was, gosh, the way they just rolled us over, I don't think there's any way we're going to be able to win this. I can just try and do what I can, but I just don't know how we're going to be able to somehow win this. So again, I'm trying to figure out anything I can swap to try to somehow counter or deal with what's going on. So I decided, okay, let me try Ramatra, you know, because I'm also thinking about, like, what ults can she not counter? Well, she can't counter his Annihilation. Now, of course, she can just Defense Matrix the projectiles that he shoots in that form, but we had a Sombra who I could see was trying to see, you know, I was trying to land the slow there to try and, you know, mess them up. And I'm also just trying to stand there and mitigate some damage for my team. I ended up mitigating 29,000 damage in this game. The D.Va mitigated 21,000, but yeah. Let's just say I have a tendency to be able to also mitigate a lot of damage. Now, whether or not that makes me a shield bot or whatever, I don't know. The thing that has always resonated with me with why I actually like to try to tank in this game and be the tank for my team, and why Reinhardt is one of my favorite characters to play in this game. So we start to actually make some progress here. And it's like, okay, maybe we actually have a shot here. But one of the things that has always resonated with me is that animated short that they had called Honor and Glory. The one with Reinhardt. And the moments that have always resonated with me is with Baldric. You know, like, I would like to think that every tank player in this game would have heard someone like Baldric say something like, "The team needs you. Be their shield." So you can see we are 1 meter away from getting this checkpoint. You would think we're gonna be able to pull this off, right? But you know, the D.Va, even now the mech is getting healed. I'm trying to get them away from the payload. I lost track of where the D.Va was here. I'm like, where's the D.Va? Oh, there it is. So you're probably wondering, what are you looking at? Okay, I'll go ahead and show you my perspective. I'll show you my perspective of what I'm seeing so you guys can have a better idea of what I'm seeing here. Is this how I should be looking? You're also seeing how bad my aim is. Yes, I have terrible aim. I'm gonna acknowledge that. Yes, my aim is awful. You don't have to say it. I know. Any, like, insult or criticism you want to throw at me about how bad I am when it comes to aspects of the game, trust me, I know I'm bad. You don't have to reinforce it or reiterate it. It's not something I haven't already told myself, or I haven't heard from other people, okay? But I'm doing what I can. I got nanoed by the Ana, so I'm trying to, you know, get in there. Couldn't get it finished her off before she got in her mech, and I'm hoping, okay, let me get my ult, because she can't defense matrix my ult. But once that does happen, they focus fire me pretty hard. So yeah, that's what I was saying.
Pain is inevitable.
I much rather prefer watching these in free cam because it allows me to see things from different perspectives I don't normally see. So yeah, they held us. Now our Sombra is able to actually pull off getting the cap there, because we did the old Sombra sneakeroo here, because yeah, everyone died. So like, there's the Sombra. She sees they leave. So our Sombra gets the point. Oh, man. So when I realized that, I did the new thing where you can swap from one spawn room to the next one. And I was like, okay, let me see if maybe Ryan can be able to pull this off. The thing is, though, from what I've been hearing, this is an awful season for Reinhardt, which just makes me so sad, because I love playing Reinhardt so much. So when I heard the D.Va self-destruct go off there, you're probably going, why did you do that? Well, my thinking is when I hear a D.Va self-destruct go off, and I'm on Reinhardt, what I'm wanting to do instinctively is look to see if there's somebody that I can shield from it. And I don't know, like, I thought, well, what about the Ana? Didn't realize the Ana had gotten there. So what I should have done is just hide and kept my shield intact. But what I did is instead just let my shield soak all that damage for no reason. That was a mistake on my part. I make so many mistakes in this game. Again, I'm not gonna hide from that or shy away from that. Yes, I make so many mistakes in this game.
No recovery. You cannot escape me.
Washed away.
So I definitely should not have gone in there as aggressive as I did, especially when Kiriko popped her ult there. Because they just melted me. And they're, of course, taking down our Sombra in there. So yeah, they're holding us off. We're not making much progress here. This guy Mountain, though, from what I saw, I think he was already decently ranked DPS, like either Platinum, maybe even Diamond. I think it was Platinum. And I could tell he was playing well. Like, he was doing his part when it came to being a DPS. So, he's definitely, in my opinion, one of the reasons why we actually end up winning this game. Chunks is also doing their part, but yeah, you know, like right now, I was thinking, gosh, they are just like absolutely guarding. Like, how are we going to pull this off somehow? Like, the soldier's up there, the high ground, he's hitting me from behind. My shield just, my barrier just like melted. And of course, they just melt me. So I'm just extremely frustrated at this point. I think this is when I get off Ryan. No, I stay on Ryan a little more because I'm Actually, no, I think what I was doing here was, yeah. I go back to Sigma, because I'm thinking, okay, they are just melting my shield. I may as well just try to get back to some mitigation like Sigma. Plus, also, I can be able to hit D.Va with my boulder, even if she's using Defense Matrix. Again, I'm having to deal with D.Va so much. My focus at this point is not how to deal with the rest of the team, it's how to deal with D.Va. Now there's Bob. Fortunately, we really take care of this Bob. I put the barrier up to try and shield him, but I don't have to because first he gets slept, then he gets hacked. So Bob got no value there other than we had to just somehow deal with it. Also, fortunately, that self-destruct did not go to a good spot to get us. But our Sombra is unfortunately struggling here. So I try to do what I can there, but of course Kiriko gets another ult, so melts my barrier. Or rather, I have to just try and reposition it, but then I get killed again. Again, I'm feeling so much frustration right now, trying to figure out what the heck do I do, because she keeps diving. Like, D.Va's just having a field day. Just absolutely running all over my team. And we're trying everything. We're swapping to various different characters, trying to do whatever we can. Our Sombra now went to Hanzo. We now have a Baptiste. I go back to Winston at this point, like trying something, anything. Like maybe I can also try and continue to use my Tesla can to do damage.
I've got you in my sights.
Now I will say, that right there, I'd like to think that was a good play on my part.
Your end is within my reach.
Because I know the soldier's up there. And then I hear him pop his ult.
I've got you in my...
So I'm here, and I know he's up there. I already know he's up there. But so when I hear him pop his ult, my thinking is, okay, I don't have my shield up, ready to go. Like, it's still on cooldown. But what I can do is get up there and just get in his face so that his ult only focuses on me and not my teammates. So I jump up there, trying to immediately do damage and try to get in his face and try to hopefully land right there. Fortunately, he's already taken a bunch of damage, so I'm able to finish him off really quick. I'd like to think that was a good play on my part. The idea of, okay, he's ulting to try and pick off my teammates. If I can get right in his face and make his ult have to focus me and no one else, because I'm just, my hitbox is just, completely in front of the bot, that at least I can soak some of that damage, or at least try to finish him off before he gets healed. Unfortunately, I was able to kill him before the Kiriko got there and saved him. Because that's what, the Kiriko definitely tried to save him there. And I feel like taking out that soldier, basically completely removing his ult from killing my team, was a very nice big play that hopefully was able to turn things around. Now here, I know my shield is off cooldown, and they're all kind of stacked up here. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to jump up here, get in their face, drop my barrier to try to help mitigate some damage from my team while I know they're trying to push the payload to keep this game going. Because we now have only 21 seconds left. We have to push the payload and keep this game going, otherwise we lose. So again, I'd like to think that this was another decent play I made to try and deal some damage, mitigate some damage with my barrier. I don't know how to... I don't know how to remove the camera without dropping this. And again, I see low health characters on Winston. I'm trying to dive them and finish them off, but man, the healing they're getting. Ugh. But I know that the mech goes down, so I'm like, okay, let me at least try to kind of scare them off so we can push the payload. I guess that's what the creating space thing is about. Just kind of try to move them back. Our Baptiste drops the window, and I'm thinking, okay, well, my primary doesn't work here. What about my secondary fire? Which I don't really do that much on Winston, I'll be honest. I still am not a big fan of the secondary fire thing. But yeah, this is where things get chaotic. Because the Moira's ulting, and I'm trying to also get value from my landing damage. The Kiriko ults, I'm like, oh crap. Because now they're going to do a ton of damage to us here. Self-destruct happens. Fortunately, no one died from that. And we're finally getting some kills here. Try and keep this going. They have a Reaper behind us. I don't realize that. In fact, hold on a second.
Nerf this!
So I think our Hanzo died. And he ults from the spawn room, hoping that his dragon can reach to help us win this fight. I'm just trying to knock them back, trying to get them away from us while we continue to push the payload. I don't know the Reaper's back here until I start hearing the gunfire happen. So then I go back. I know Reaper counters Winston, but he can still get damage and such. I still have to do something. So I help finish him off. Not really me, but I'm still trying to do something here when it comes to mitigation. Trying to get them off. They put Bob on the payload, so I'm like, oh, crap.
I've got you in my sights.
I try to help finish off the Moira there before I go down. Our soldier ults, trying to see if he can get the Kiriko. The Kirikos just refuse to die. Another... Yeah, right there was a big turning point for us right there, as you can see. Because the D.Va ults, fortunately, our soldier gets behind. Our Hanzo was unfortunately not so fortunate. And D.Va's calling down the mech, but fortunately, our soldier is able to finish her off before the mech gets there. And then they're able to actually finish off the Reaper. I was actually kind of shocked that we actually won that and was able to keep this game going. And I was already up here, so I was like, okay, I can't go back and swap to the other spawn room, so I'll just make my way over here. So we can try and keep pushing. And then I noticed, okay, so we're all here. Again, just doing what I can, knowing that I'm just trying to do some damage, trying to scare off the Kiriko, put the barrier up so that she can't heal the D.Va. Because, again, Kiriko can't have her heals go through those barriers. You know, same thing with Ana. That's why those kinds of shields can be good counters against Kiriko and Ana. So what happened here? Let me go ahead and show my point of view again here, if you guys want to see. When I'm playing a Winston here. There's also apparently, I don't know if there's actually a hotkey for pausing these replays, other than just simply doing this. Because I've even looked at, like, okay, what are the... Not these. What are the controls when it comes to doing replays? I don't see a button here to just simply pause while you're doing a replay. Like, I guess there might be something here, but I just don't see it. If there are extra hotkeys I'm just simply not seeing, somebody please let me know. You know, if there's something I'm just missing, by all means, let me know. Whoops. Oh. Okay. Again, I'm pressing spacebar there to try and, yeah.
You're going home in a box.
So you're probably also noticing, like, the amount of times I'm jumping. That's because what I'm trying to take advantage of is the landing damage for Winston. I'm trying to do as much landing damage. I knew the Ashe was in here because I could hear her.
You're going home in a box.
So you saw that, right? I saw her go that direction. This is also why it's a good idea to play with the sound on, because I could hear her footsteps heading in there. So, we know she's in there. Now, what she's trying to do is probably wait for the healing passive to kick in, but we know she's in here, so I don't think there was any way she was going to survive that. So we're, like, you know, trying to see if we can finally, I got concerned there, but fortunately we were able to survive that, and I'm able to help finish off the Kiriko here. Again, I'm just trying to jump up and then do landing damage to do some extra damage on anyone over here. Trying to get some punches in so I can try to finish off this D.Va, because she won't die! There we go. Ugh. So now I ult to just try and knock them all away from the payload. I don't know who's alive or dead at this point when it comes to my team. I'm just trying to knock them away and just let us move the less than 1 meter we need to keep this game going. This is what I'm doing. I'm just like, ah! And, oh, man. Now, let's see that again, but not from my perspective, you know? From the free camp perspective, because yikes.
Neutralizing projectile.
Like, that Moira was just doing everything to keep the diva alive, but although did not focus the diva there and decided to focus on my teammates, I have a feeling if the Moira had kept that diva alive, we may have lost. But yeah, like, they're coming back, they're trying to like keep this game going. The diva's trying to make her way back as well. My team is back and I'm jumping up. Yes, I'm risking C9ing, but I'm hoping that my teammates are going to stay close by enough. We also get a Lucio out here after a Baptiste got killed. Yeah. At this point, I think it was the Reaper, Lingix, that said, oh my gosh, these pushes, like basically complimenting us, like, holy mackerel, you guys and your pushes, like, this is crazy.
Ready for battle.
So, because we have 1 minute and they have 4, we get to start off first.
Look at the state of the world. Something has to change.
Huh, I forgot about this, that I can actually toggle the third-person view here when it comes to this angle.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Escort the payload.
So we're like, okay, let's just try to push as far as we can. Now, in case you're wondering, why did I all of a sudden swap to Zarya? Well, this is when I voiced to my team, I even said, I'm sorry I'm having a terrible game, guys. This diva's giving me a lot of frustrations right now. Because I had like 13 deaths at this point, I think. It was either 12 or 13 deaths. Like, I was just having a really bad game. And they said, well, okay, why don't you go ahead and try going Zarya? Just time out your bubbles and don't push too far. Here's the problem. We did that for the diva. We did not know they were going to go Bastion. Which, yeah, you don't go Zarya against the Bastion, because Bastion just melts a Zarya. Yeah, Zarya does not have bubbles that strong to deal with a Bastion. And I'm kind of trying. Somewhat, but yeah. Fortunately, we're able to push it a decent amount here, which will be key later.
30 seconds remaining.
I'm trying to see if, okay, like, I've got like a decent amount of energy. In fact, let's go back to my point of view so you can probably see. If you want to see, like, I'm at 75 energy at this point. So I see the two healers here, the Kiriko and the Lifeweaver. I'm trying to be like, okay, I'm at 75 energy as a Zarya. I should be able to finish them off, right? But because my aim is terrible, I'm apparently able to not kill them. And again, I try to pop my bubble, but because Bastion and Diva's damage is absurd, like, the damage you're facing when it's a Diva, a Bastion, and a Soldier is relentless. So that's as far as we're able to push it in the 1 minute we had. And I'm thinking, oh gosh, we have to hold them here for 4 minutes? How in the world are we going to somehow pull this off?
Initiating match.
So, we were wondering, well, maybe whether or not they're going to stick with the Bastion now. But apparently that's all they want to do for just that one little defensive stand. So they say, okay, why don't you go either Diva or Sigma? And I didn't tell them, well, I don't play Diva. I just went ahead and picked Sigma, because I do play a decent amount of Sigma. I do like playing Sigma. And I honestly do feel like he's a good counter. But as you can see, they don't go Bastion. They once again go back to their other comp with Tracer and Soldier. Now we get a Bastion.
Actuating the
So
barrier.
I see, okay, Bastion's going to be up here. I'm going to put a barrier up here for him to kind of let him do his thing.
Engaging enemy. The pain. They're moving the payload. Big stanger left.
That's another frustrating thing about playing against Devo, especially if we're playing a Moira, is that she can't counter your right click, but she can defense matrix your defense orbs. In fact, I think she can also defense matrix her healing orbs. I think I've seen that happen. So she dives the Bastion. Unfortunately, the Bastion is able to kind of chase her off. Alright, let me go back to my point of view here, because you're probably wondering what I was doing here when that was happening. I don't know, maybe seeing my perspective or my camera view. So I know that our Zenyatta is fighting the soldier now. I tried to help him finish him off there. Bad boulder on my part. I was trying to time it to be able to hit Pilot Diva after she got out. I ended up hitting the mech instead as she's exiting. Again, timing is just off on my part, you know. Especially when I get frustrated and I'm just like down on myself because, again, I was thinking that, you know, we can try and do what we can, but it's extremely unlikely we're somehow going to be able to pull this off and hold them from getting... Look at how far they have to go. That's not very far. And they have over 4 minutes to do this. Now, we've held them for a minute, and I actually hit a somebody with my boulder there. And I'm like, I can hear... Okay, there's a Tracer in here. I hear them. Let me try and see if I can land one of those to be able to take her down. Doesn't work out. So then the Diva switches to a Zarya, which I found interesting. Especially since we still had the Bastion. So I was curious as to why. Now, maybe it was to deal with me because I don't think Sigma is able to really deal... Oh, I was able to land that on the Ana there. I feel like that was a pretty decent boulder there. I was like, okay, the Tracer is kind of timing like, okay, like she fires every time she reloads. So maybe I can get some over-health with my... I forget what it's called. The left click where you have the field absorb projectiles to create a shield. I forget what it's called, forgive me. You know, that thing. Try to get a little bit of over health. Didn't get that much. I'm like, okay, they're in this room. Let me see if I can do some, you know, what's it called? Accretion? His weapon? Accretion damage in there. They put up a tree. Fortunately, the Ana walked right into that, so I was able to get a pick there. I'm like, okay, I can hear the Tracer over here going after our Sojourn. Helped her out over there. I feel like this round I was able to really bounce back and have a pretty decent round. Land some good boulders, get some good damage, absorb some projectiles or discourage them, while also trying to mitigate with my barrier. And I'm like, okay, I have my ult. Do I ult them up there? And I kind of waited. I was like, okay, they're all on the payload there. Let me see if I can try and get 1 or 2 of them there. And I see the life weaver is low. I'm like, ah. Fortunately, our Zenyatta is trying to also focus on the Zarya with the Discord. He also ults trying to keep us alive there. Very nice. And all of a sudden, it's like, oh my gosh, we're actually starting to win this. And I'm realizing, holy crap, they have just a minute left. Can we actually win this? Are we somehow going to be able to actually pull off this win after being rolled over the way we were earlier in this game?
60 seconds. A taste of...
And like, okay, you know, over there. Yeah, they're going this way now. Missed the boulder. Go back to having a Mercy.
You see but a fraction of the universe.
Instead of an Ana.
Not so fast.
Fortunately, we take out their Mercy before they could res the Zarya. I get killed here by the soldier. Of course, He also killed himself, though, with his rockets. You saw that, right? So, hold on. Let me go back to the free cam here.
30 seconds remaining.
So the Mercy was trying to res the Zarya, but fortunately, our Sojourn was able to take her out. And I'm like, holy mackerel. We have a shot at winning this game. So they go back to Diva.
Seconds remaining.
I'm trying to hurry back. Our Bastion makes it back.
Mother's kind. Overtime. Gale the Mahal.
Puts a tree there, and I'm like, oh no.
Pass into the iris.
Now I actually forget, like, what route I went here. Alright, so I'm just, like, trying to get back here really quick. Probably not the best route I could have taken, but I'm trying to see if maybe I can make something happen from behind.
Pass into the iris.
Saw the Life Weaver was by himself over here, is what I'm trying to say. Didn't hit anyone with my ult there.
Come here, Cookie.
Like, I was legit trying to... Whoa, whoa.
This ends now.
My bad, my bad. I hit the wrong key. Whoops. What is it? Number pad subtract. Okay. Well, that doesn't seem to be working. Because I'm hitting that button, it's not working. Whatever. So apparently that wasn't able to hit the Mercy because she was too high up in the air. I was able to pick her off there, fortunately.
This ends now.
So the Diva does get rezzed, and I'm like, okay, try to see if I can help finish off the soldier here. I hit him with the boulder to finish him off. Trying to mitigate, soak some damage from the Diva. The Life Weaver is really low. Fortunately, our soldier comes back to pick him off. The Tracer's right there, but away from the payload. I'm hoping for a C9. The Mercy comes back. Doesn't get the res. C9, we win. Ugh.
Sie werden dich nicht kriegen.
Man. Ugh. Like, I was in shock after that game. I couldn't believe we actually somehow pulled off this win. Like, I feel like I did make a few decent plays here and there. Like, I was able to get a couple picks here with the boulders at the end. The one play I'm happy about is that Winston play against that soldier when he ulted. But, man. Otherwise, I had an absolutely terrible game. Especially against this other tank, who I'm sure felt very frustrated playing so well. And yet, somehow, they didn't win. You know. Now, I forget to look at the stats. I wish I could be able to tab. This is one thing I wish they could do with this replay feature. Let us tab so we can see what the stat screen was for this game at the time this game was going on. If Blizzard could somehow try to figure out how to incorporate that into replays, it would make this so much better. Because then it could show you, like, the stats here at the end of this game. Like, what it was actually like. In case you were wondering what the stats are. Because the Mercy goes in, and yet, because the timer goes down so fast, because you'll notice there's only 1 second left on the replay thing here. Yep. It runs out because no one else is touching the payload, and we end up winning. One of the most insane come-from-behind victories I've ever been a part of in Overwatch comp. Yes, I know that, you know, was like someone's going to say, well, this is just gold and plat, who cares, and whatever, you know. And yeah, I know I played a horrible game. I want to get, decent at this game. I don't know if I ever will. If there are things that you want to ask me about or share or advice or whatever, just try to have it be constructive. I'm not going to get any better if you're going to throw insults. If you're just going to be, a jerk and throw insults, I'm not going to listen to what you're saying. I'm probably going to just end up removing your comment or banning you from my channel. But if you at least want to be constructive to try and, offer advice or help me out, then I'm more than okay with hearing that out, I'm not some top 500 player who doesn't have to listen to people like some other content creators. But anyways, I just wanted to share that really plea with you guys because I thought it was an insane come from behind victory that we had. And, yeah. Yeah, wow. That's all I have to say about how that game went. So, yeah, I'll see you guys next time.